Hello there, welcome to this week's episode of The Digest. My name is Francesca. Now, social distancing restrictions and demand shifts from COVID-19 are expected to shatter many small businesses, but there is very little evidence in the impacts. So this documentary we're about to show you provides evidence of the impacts of the pandemic on a number of active local traders. A number of active local traders in Zambia have suffered loss, if not closure of businesses, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which hit the country in 2020. Losses have been felt across nearly all industries and even for incorporated businesses. Although the effects of COVID-19 on the economy showed up quickly, the effects on the local traders are not well known. Bernadette Deka Zulu, the Executive Director for Policy Monitoring Research Center, PMRC, shares how government responded from the onset to put up measures that would help cushion local traders.
So from the onset, government's response towards the COVID-19 pandemic has really been robust, and it has been well calculated in that through different ministries, government departments, and the central bank itself, government has come up with different measures, and these have been put in different categories such as tax measures, monetary policy measures, and as well as the government policy in itself. To start with, we first recorded the first cases around 20th of March, if I remember very well, 2020, and since then we have seen quite a number of interventions that have been put forward to help the local trader. Much more can be done, but we can cite a few, such as the monetary policy, which came in form of a stimulus package through the central bank, the Bank of Zambia, lending out, or rather giving different banks or financial institutions that could now further lend out to the local trader and local entrepreneurs and businessmen and women alike. Beyond that, we saw quite a number of interventions in terms of tax measures. There was some rebates of some sort on ethanol, so that local manufacturers can be able to manufacture or make our own hand sanitizers and other sanitary measures around the COVID-19. Beyond that, we saw also some number of interventions from government itself through parliamentary committees and all, trying to see how the local trader can actually be helped, and that has come also up with under DMMU through the central government and cabinet office, where we saw even more than 6 million US dollars being administered so that it can help out to mitigate some of the problems or challenges or calamities that have come as a result of this unforeseen pandemic.
Global Traders Association of Zambia President Joseph Chanda, on behalf of the members, is yet to engage authorities on how best member traders of the association can benefit from the various measures put in place.
As an association, we intend to engage the government on that pronouncement, and immediately when we do that, I think we shall inform our members of our next move. Otherwise, there is a pronouncement that there is stimulus package that has been the government that has been arranged for the traders. So we are just planning to engage the government, especially this week. We will try to engage them and see how we can acquire that, because we haven't even understood it better, the process and the procedure that one can, or as an organization of traders, how they can acquire those stimulus packages during this pandemic.
One managing director for Nkani Auto Spares, Eugene Chilufya Nkandu, and Crispin Dewe, operation manager, share on how the pandemic has affected their business.
the COVID-19 pandemic, it has contributed greatly to the loss of customers, to the loss of business as at large, in the sense that people, they have lost direction. No one knows what is going to happen tomorrow, what is going to happen next.
COVID-19 has, I can say, it is done something which I can say to some extent, because of restricted movements of people. You find that if you have enough stock at the time like this one, complaints of not having business are very few, because at this time, this is when you can even sell things at a faster rate, because people wouldn't want to be moving from this shop and that other shop the way they used to do it when there are no restrictions, because nowadays someone from his car would just want to come, enter the shop, get something, then he goes, because he doesn't want to be moving carelessly. At least he wants to move within distances that at least won't have a lot of contacts.
Interestingly, the Global Traders Association of Zambia is quick to mention that the pandemic is not for the government alone and should be individualized if we intend to end it.
This pandemic is not for the government, not for the president. This pandemic should be taken seriously by each individual, whether you're a trader or you're not a trader. But basically what we are telling our members is they should adhere to the guideline that the government has pronounced in combating the virus. Otherwise, it's something that an individual, we should take as an individuals before we talk as an association, before we talk as a political party. We just need to encourage our members to adhere to those guidelines, because this virus does not choose who can get it, So it's something that we should take first as individuals before we talk to our members. So we always urge our members to follow those guidelines that have been put by the Ministry of Health.
The ordering of goods, it has reduced to the way we used to order stock, because previously we could order maybe within a short possible time, say maybe within a week you can get twice or so, but this time it will take you 2 months. We are lucky, maybe it goes up to 4 months. So if you calculate 4 months in 4 months, how many months in 12 months? You find that it will be maybe 3 times, and that is if you are lucky. But it has really taken us a bit behind.
It's very few people are daring to putting on masks, and then so for our safety and the safety of our workers, we usually send away those customers who walks in without masks. Implementing on that, especially when making sure that all the customers that are working in our business are putting on the face masks, and we being the owners of the business, we are trying to be the leading example, so that we don't offend our customers. When we say send our customers away, definitely they will understand the point we are trying to put across, because this is not all about the government, it's about every individual. So we have to take high quality of precautions. This cable, it's the tape that you are seeing is it's a boundary where a customer is supposed to stand, and where the shopkeepers are standing, so there must be a distance. This is the reason why we have put there, and if you look further there, you see we've put a sticker which says no mask, no entry. If the customer comes in without a mask, we don't allow that.
As a trader, what I would say, lockdown may be a good thing to do, but the thing is, again, if everyone is adhering to the statutory instrument 20 and everything that is there, which were given by local authorities, the government, Ministry of Health, so to say, I think we would still fight this pandemic even without the lockdown. As you have seen that even behind us there, in front before me there is a bucket for washing hands when customers enter here. On top there is a hand wash, sanitizer. We do give clients just here on the counter. There is also one, if a customer buys something, you need to spray. If he touches here, you spray, make sure you spray, clean everything. Even before you open the doors for customers, you make sure you clean, you disinfect, give it some time, then customers start entering. With that, lockdown may not come forth.
Yeah, the challenge is there in the sense that most people are not importing the goods. We do import goods online, but it's not everyone that is importing online. So even the shippers, the suppliers, where we are getting our stuff from, they are not delivering things on time. It's so like it usually takes, where it's supposed to be 30 days, maybe 55 days, it takes 3 months. Now, even just like Dubai, it is taking two months to 3 months because of the traffic, and then for the shippers also to have the ship full of containers. It takes a little bit of time because people are affected, in and out.
So the pandemic itself is a contact trace disease, the COVID-19. So obviously coming into contact with another person hinges around the danger of contracting the disease or the virus. And the way this virus operates in its mysterious ways, it's usually when there are a lot of people, groupings in numbers. So because of that alone, we were told from the beginning that we had to lock down. Lockdown in Zambia did not really happen completely, but then measures were put. So a lot of traders were affected. Bars, we saw the closure of bars, and then at some point there was a limitation in how they operate. In markets, people are scared to go out there to markets freely, to go and trade, or actually to buy local produce. It's because of the same. You are scared to contract the disease or to have the virus. And then we saw also restaurants being closed, and now the number of factors that have been put in place to help them operate, in as much as it is not fully anymore. And churches have also been affected, and other businesses. Someone will argue that, okay, there's no business around the church, but then we're looking at operations of livelihoods holistically, and this has been quite a challenge for a country like Zambia that has never faced such kind of a pandemic.
There are a lot of challenges apart from the COVID-19, which we liaised with the government through the Ministry of Commerce, and those paying rentals in dollars and fair competition, high lending interest rate. Those are some of the challenges that we have been having in this country for a long time, and that is making things hard for the traders, because like if you are paying rentals in dollars, it's difficult for anybody to plan. You only know the actual monthly rent on that particular time, because you need to follow the rate for that very day you are paying the rentals. So there are a lot of challenges apart from, but some of which we have actually written to the government, and we are just waiting for the response.
My appeal is especially to the government. It's the government has to take very serious measures, especially where putting on masks and like washing of hands and especially to the crowding. So if the government has to move in and talk to the people, sensitize the people, it's not about beating the people, doing what, it's about first sensitize the people about the seriousness of this pandemic. Then it is going to help out, you see. Just like, one comes on TV, say this, the other tomorrow you hear from this one, say that, and it's not helping. Really, this COVID is a serious disease and it's not sparing anyone. It doesn't look at the color, it doesn't look at the wealth of someone, no. It's just wiping.
Appeal to, most especially to the government, would say the government actually is already done a lot for the community and is still doing it and is still sensitizing. Now, the part which is remaining actually is to the traders to work hand in hand with the government, so that where we are lacking and where the government sees that the community or traders are lacking, we can seek for some help, and I know those things they can be given. But if you just sit without informing the relevant authorities about the challenges we face, then you may end up complaining, yes, killing the industry of motor spares.
Our appeal to the relevant authorities, please let them consider looking at what we've raised, apart from the stimulus packet, which we need to understand. And now, not to only the relevant authority, I would like to also to appeal to all political parties, because this is an election year, and they are going to procuring a lot of materials to use during the campaign. So our appeal is, let them engage the local traders. This is the time to start helping the local traders, rather than them going direct to the suppliers and get them, because there are very few manufacturers who are making clothes in Africa. In Zambia we don't even have any. So if they can at least engage the traders in acquiring those, I think our association, the members, are very ready to help all political parties in Zambia. This is how they can show loyalty, to say they really care about us, not where they get t-shirts direct from China, direct from Dubai. We can do it. Let them engage us as the agent. So with the little that we can realize, it will help us in recovering from what we have lost from COVID-19. Let's follow all the guideline that has been given to us by the Ministry of Health. But last, maybe, this association is basically for the primary objective is to bring together Zambian traders and see how they can develop the business and preserve it for the future generation. Zambia as a country, as what I see as a wheel, which is one Zambia, one nation. Let's pronounce more one Zambia, one nation, because that is what our forefathers died for. And if we are one, we can easily develop. If we are one, we can even help one another in terms of difficulties like the ones that we are passing through now.
To start with, first things first, we recommend that government looks into domestic repayments towards local traders, if this can be prioritized, so that they can actually be offset in terms of liquidity. That's the major challenge at the moment, liquidity. There's no cash. The cash flow has been affected gravely. So if we could look into making sure that all the local contractors and traders have been offset in terms of domestic repayments, that would be great. So that's our major recommendation. The other recommendation goes around more or upscaling of resources towards local industry, which is, to be specific, the manufacturing industry. We have seen quite a number of manufacturing companies or entities trying to come up with innovative ways in which to cushion the supply chain and where we are missing out, but then there's also an issue of machinery and lack of machinery, an issue also of lack of capital. So if we can just upscale those stimulus packages, and beyond that, the social safety nets, especially in rural areas, because we are only perhaps concentrating in urban areas on ways of to do business and to try and help the entrepreneurs here in the suburbs or in the urban areas. But then we also have the rural areas that are trading. We also have fish farmers. We have, around the Bangwa-Ulu and the Zambezi. We also have to look into issues of the blue economy and how they can thrive during this pandemic. Beyond that, we have other agricultural activities, and the rolling out of farmers' input must now be enhanced now that we have seen that the rain patterns are favoring us in terms of boosting the farming industry at the moment. Then the 2020 to 2021 agriculture season has experienced a better rain pattern. And if we could actually, as a government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, put more resources, making sure that more farmers are recipients in the e-voucher, as they roll out the e-voucher system, that would be also a plus, and that comes under a very high recommendation from PMRC to government. Above all, the associations surrounding business areas and entrepreneurship to work hand in hand beyond chambers of commerce with the Ministry of Trade and Commerce.
For Zambia to see less closure of businesses, it is imperative for the authorities to take time to act on the challenges highlighted and subsequently engage institutions like the Global Traders Association of Zambia and the Policy Monitoring Research Center to strategize on how best the recommendations made herein are implemented.
That's it. That's all the time we had for you for this week. We do hope that our local traders can make use of that stimulus package, as the pandemic has serious implications on businesses, and that in the long term, they may have ramifications for job losses and economic inequality. We do value your feedback. Send us that email, documentaries@diamondtvzambia.com. From me, Francesca Peribanda, and my team, thank you for watching. Stay blessed.